We don't want to be creating giant polygons like this and creating tons of bricks in order to design a level. So we're going to set up our auto tile. We'll start by creating a new scene. And in this scene, we'll add a custom node called tile map. The tile map node is what we use to create our auto tiles. We've got some problems with this one right here though. We're going to need to adjust some of the settings over here. So for the cell size, we'll do 16 by 16 because that's how big our tile set is. And then we will create a new tile set right here. So do new tile set. Click on that. That should open up this new tile set tab. Right here, this part's a little bit finicky and a little bit with some weird clicks and stuff in order to get things working. So I'll try and explain that best I can. First, we'll need to add a new texture to our tile set. Come into world and select the tile set PNG texture. From here, we can zoom in a little bit. And you might just want to click edit, but that's not actually going to do anything. In order to do something, we actually need to click one of these buttons over here. This will be an auto tile, so we'll select a new auto tile. And then we have to select a region, but we'll want to select snap. And you can see the snap isn't the right size, but in order to fix this size, we actually have to select a region first because the properties are over here. So then we click and select a region, which is too big and not the region, not how we actually want it. But once we've done that, we get our options over here. So we can select snap options and set this to 16 by 16. And then under our selected tile, we also want to set the sub tile size to 16 by 16. So there's a lot of properties there. We also want to set the auto tile bit mask to 3x3 minimal. Once we've done all that, we can reselect our region and only get the region that we need, not get the extra that we had before. Then you can save, and we'll save this under world, this scene. Now click on bit mask right here. We can zoom in a little bit more, and we need to create our bit mask. Now this tells Godot what tiles it needs to place. So for example, if you look at this corner tile right here, if we're in an auto tile and we place a tile right here, it needs to place this tile, or it needs to place a tile here, and a tile here, right? If that makes sense. Because you don't want to put a tile here or up here or up here on this corner because then it wouldn't look right. So, or over here actually, or over here. So the three tiles that you would need to place are here, here, and here. And for example, for this one right here, you wouldn't place any of the surrounding tiles, right? Because this is a single tile. So it doesn't want any tiles around it in our auto tile system. So when you're doing a bit mask, you're telling it where to place the tiles. So obviously, they're all going to have a center tile because they're going to be placed in this. This is the tile itself. But then we need this tile, and this tile. So we do this, this, and this right there. And for this one right here, we just place the center tile because we don't need any of the surrounding tiles around it, right? None of these surrounding tiles. For this one right here, this is a top piece right here. It needs tiles everywhere except for right below it. So that would, or it doesn't need tiles anywhere except for right below it, I should say, the opposite of what I said. So we would do center just like always, and then here. And so that's how this works. If that's confusing for you, the other way to kind of think about it is to think about where the tiles are going to be connecting, right? It needs to connect here and here and here and here, but shouldn't need to connect over here because this is the edge of the tile. So there's no connections over here. So that's one way to think about it. And then you can also just kind of avoid placing it in the white areas. So we'll set up our bit mask here. We'll finish doing this. It doesn't take too long. Obviously, this black tile is going to be completely filled because it will need all the tiles around it. And this actually kind of makes a little bit of a pattern that you'll start to see as you do this more often, filling in these bit masks. And if you just want to copy what I'm doing, you can do that as well. I've done this a few times before, so I'm getting kind of used to it. Where the tiles need to be, or where the bit mask needs to be in order to get the auto tile to work properly. And yeah, you can kind of see the pattern already here. Like this. Oops, don't need it there. And then a plus on that one. So there you go. If you need to, you can pause the video and copy this over. Make sure you have it exactly or your auto tile will not work. So I'm going to save. Once we've set up the auto tile 3x3 minimum, we've set up all these. We can actually click up on our tile map up here and we can start putting tiles in the room. And you can see auto tiles. Now, there's no collisions with these, so let's set up the collisions. Click on your tile map again, click on the tile set. Well, the first thing we can do, you'll need to click on this again, and then you'll want to click edit. Let's see. Oh, just click on it right here. Click in here. It's a little bit weird, like I said. That should bring up your properties again. We'll set the icon to be this one, this tile. That makes sense for the icon for auto tiling. We'll set our collision. I seem to remember there being a hotkey for clicking on this, but I can't for the life of me remember it. So we're going to be clicking on each of these in turn. So what you do is you select a square, click on the square collision shape, then click back on your square again. That will auto switch you back to the selector again, and you select the next square. So select, square, click, select, square, click, and then you just repeat for the entire tile set, which takes a bit of time, but you only have to do this once. And then, well, I guess if you have multiple tile sets, you'll have to do it multiple times. But the good news is, once you've done this for your tile set, all your collisions will work perfectly with your character, and no code required. So this is honestly pretty easy, considering you don't have to write any code in order to get tile collisions. And it's not, admittedly, it's not the same kind of tile collisions you could do if you write your own code, like speed-wise. Because I think this just actually puts these collision shapes in the room on each tile, which is different from programming your own tile set collisions. So this is slightly slower performance-wise. But 99% of the time, you're not going to need that for a small 2D game. If you're doing like maybe a Terraria type game or something with a ton of collisions in it, you might want to do that. But there we go. You want to be careful because sometimes these can double up. Like if I click here, then all of a sudden this one's got 2 on it. You can just select that and press the delete here to delete one of them and get it back to 1. Now that we've got our tile set up, we can come back to our world. Let's get rid of these bricks. We're going to delete them all. We're going to get rid of our terrain. And we'll actually turn off visible collision shapes as well. Then we'll instance our new tile map scene into the world. And we can easily start creating a level. We'll just do something like this for now. Just kind of messing around. And then run the game. And our character will be able to move inside of this world and collide with these tiles. And if you see, sometimes you'll see a little bit of like jittering. And we're actually going to do one more thing here. We'll create a new script for our world. And the this world script will set the background to black, and there's a way to do that in code so that the entire background is black. We'll call visual server dot set default clear server clear color, and then color dot black, like that. This will set the basically the color to clear to black, and we'll make our game finally 1 bit, and that helps a little bit with the jittering and stuff too. And then the last thing you can do to help with the tile sets overlapping on each other a little bit is come into project settings, and if I remember right, it's under render, use pixel snap. You can click that. Now your camera or the render will snap to individual pixels, which will help with some of the edge. If you see edges in your tiles a little bit, using pixel snap helps with that. The final solution is actually to change your tile set to add a single pixel buffer around each tile of the same color that it should be. And there's actually an article on that, so I can link that if you want to see how that works. But we're not going to be doing it for this. That's going to be it for this lecture. And I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you all in the next one.